Thomas, Emily, and the Snowplough. Winter was coming, and the morning ground was covered in crisp white frost. Thomas was pulling Annie and Clairbo, and thought was doing a grand job. But Emily had other ideas. She thought she could do an even grander job, so Emily decided to help Thomas by telling him what he was doing wrong. When she saw him puffing down the branch line, she cried out, "Slow down! You're going too fast and bumping your passengers." Later, Emily saw Thomas by a bridge. He had stopped at a signal and was talking to some children. "Stop talking to the children. You are working, and they will make you late," said Emily. "I'm never late," said Thomas huffily. "There's always a first time," said Emily cheerfully. Thomas was cross. He loved talking to children and thought Emily was being a big bossy buffers. Annie and Clairbo agreed. "I am never going to listen to Emily ever again, so there," said Thomas. The next day, Emily was getting her snowplow fitted. When the Fat Controller arrives to see her with the weather report, "There is snow on the way. You must tell every engine that they have their snowplows fitted." "Excuse me, sir, but Thomas already left for the coaling plant." "Then you must find Thomas and tell him the Fat Controller wants him to wear his snowplow." "Yes, sir," said Emily. Emily was very happy. She was looking forward to telling him what to do. Thomas was waiting at a signal under a bridge when Emily puffed up in front of him. She blew her whistle, but Thomas didn't say hello. "She just wants to boss me again," groaned Thomas. "Thomas, you must go and get your snowplow fitted," she called. Thomas could hear what Emily was saying, but pretended he couldn't. He thought he was being very clever, so Emily tooted even louder again. "You must go and get your snowplow fitted," she cried. "Bother snowplows, and bother Emily. Anyway, the weather is perfectly fine," said Thomas, and he puffed away as fast as he could. Thomas took his empty trucks back to the coaling plant. Then he set out to collect cream from the dairy. Everything was going well, but soon the clear blue sky was eaten away by dark grey clouds. "They look like snow clouds to me," said his driver. And he was right. Soon big flakes of white snow began to fall, and the snow gathered into drifts and covered the tracks. "Sickness and ashes!" cried Thomas as his wheels began to slip. Meanwhile, Emily cut safely through the drifts with her snowplow. "Now Thomas will be in trouble," she said to herself. And she was right. Thomas was working harder and harder, but he had to go more and more slowly. "We can't go on," said his driver. They pulled up next to a signal box, and his driving fireman went inside to stay warm. By the time they did, it snowed and snowed harder than ever. Thomas felt very cold and twice as miserable. Then he heard the sound of an engine. Thomas was delighted until he saw who was rescuing him. It was Emily. "I told you to get your snowplow. Now look what happened." Thomas was still cross. "You should say sorry for bossing me about." "I am sorry," said Emily. "Sorry you didn't listen to me." The Fat Control was waiting for Emily and Thomas. He did not look happy. "Emily, you must take Thomas to get his snowplow fitted at once." "Thomas, you must learn to listen," he said sternly. Thomas felt bad. He didn't know it was the Fat Control who wanted him to wear his snowplow. Emily felt bad too. She didn't like seeing Thomas in trouble. "I am sorry, sir. I forgot to tell him that it was your order." "You mean I have two engines that don't listen? Well, I never." Emily decided to tell the Fat Controller the truth. The Fat Controller was not pleased with Emily. "I don't know about your ways, but I don't expect engines to boss around other engines, especially when I give orders to. You should have known better, Emily. Don't let your bossiness get in the better of you. Now, Thomas, let's get your snowplow fitted at once." Thomas was fitted with his snowplow, and Emily apologized. "I'm sorry for bossing you around. I shouldn't have let it get in the better of me earlier." "That's all right, Emily. Thank you for owning up to the Fat Controller. I guess that if you want to stay out of trouble, We just had to be careful or being bossing around. Emily had to agree with Thomas.